talking about driver, and the only reason you can't hit driver is your inability to hold on to external rotation for long enough. And quite simply, that's sort of it. So one of the things that I use with a few students, and as a little bit of a mess around prototype, is I've got this little sweatband here. So if I position this sweatband with a rubber tee and a small piece of dowel, like so. So this is going to reference my right forearm. Now, when you hold the club, your right forearm will have a degree of supination, so it will point relatively upward. Okay, and you can see the way it's positioned like this. Now, in the backswing position, what should happen is to get the club moving back, there should be external rotation and upper body rotation. So you can see the way the dowel is pointing relatively upward at this moment in time. Okay, and that gets the club into a sort of traditional takeaway position. Now, some of you might choose not to do that and you might delay the external rotation. Okay, you might choose the takeaway to look more this way and then do it later. You can do that if you want. Personally, it doesn't make sense to me, but fine. But the point is when we get to the top of the backswing, this will point relatively upward. Okay, you don't want it pointing downward now. So as I come into the downswing, essentially two things need to happen. One is that my upper arm needs to move to the side of my body as I maintain external rotation. And what that does is that basically gets the club shaft coming down the plane line. And what you can also see that does is that means that the club head is moving further away from the body. Now, the problem for a lot of golfers is that you don't move this way, you move this way. So the way that my forearm pointer is going downward. And this is what produces more steepness and that sort of over the top tendency. That's all you're after. Now, the good news is you're after that within every swing, okay? It's just as the club gets progressively longer, it's just harder to control. So if you're someone who kind of moves this way in the downswing position, you'll sort of be able to hit the lofted clubs and maybe up to 7-iron pretty competently. But then 6-iron and above is not going to want that because of the length of the club. That's why you need to do this. So I think this is a visual. This is why we've kind of got, you know, Hogan talks about a ball toss analogy. He talks about this sort of motion here and then throwing it. You also got golfers like Mo Norman would talk about the sort of, you know, pointing up towards the sky. And that's what it is. It's basically to be able to start the downswing correctly, you have to move your upper arm to the side of the body whilst maintaining external rotation. Okay, like so. What you don't want is anything like this or this type of action. I'll see you soon.